Hello world, Brian here again. Welcome to my ministry. Always remember God in your life. Give Him the glory in everything. Keep Him in our thoughts, our hearts, our minds, and our souls, right where He belongs. Anyway, moving on. My intent this week, this episode, was to move on to the Fifth Commandment and beyond. But it occurred to me really that the last episode I really didn't get as deeply into the Fourth Commandment as what I really wanted to. So mostly I talked about when the Sabbath is according to the Bible, being the seventh day instead of the first day of the week. I tried to indicate pretty much why this is, and tried to refer to basically what I considered anyway to be valid reasons for making this statement. The thing I really didn't get into at all is what exactly the Sabbath is. It's not always clear what the Sabbath is and what it's intended for. So I kind of want to get into that this episode, what I feel that the Sabbath is and what it's there for, what it's intended to be for us as the human race. So let's start again with what the commandment says, the Fourth Commandment, according to the Bible. Okay, I'm not referring to the Catholic version today because it really simply doesn't apply in this case. But what I want to get into is the Fourth Commandment according to the Bible, which states, I want to say it again here, even though I said it last week, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shall you labor and do all your work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall not do any work, not you, not your son, not your daughter, not your manservant, not your maidservant, not your cattle, nor even the stranger that is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made the heaven and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. So that's what it says. And it mentions cattle, which would include any animals, oxes or whatever, because they work as well. Right? I mean, they really do. Most of the time, cattle give milk. Oxen, back in those days were pulling plows and that kind of thing. So even the animals deserved a day of rest. So what exactly is the Sabbath? According to the dictionary, if you take the dictionary meaning, or anyway, it's the dictionary states it is a period of time between sunset Friday evening and sunset Saturday evening observed by Jews and some Christians. Okay, that's the dictionary meaning. And it's correct. It's there. It's pretty much straightforward, but it is correct in that. But is that all there is to it? And I'm going to say no, that's not all there is to it. The Sabbath is also a gift from God Himself. It's basically His permission for us to take a break and rest, just like He did from the stresses of the work week. The Fourth Commandment directs us to remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. It also directs us not to do any work. Now, does this mean not to do anything at all and just veg out the entire day? Not necessarily. When Jesus was speaking to the Pharisees, they said to Him, "Look, why are they doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath?" And they were talking about His disciples doing things like, picking wheat from the field and eating it and that sort of thing. And they even confronted Jesus about healing, about Him doing healing on the Sabbath, and said that He was doing work on the Sabbath. Well, Jesus answered them and said, He said, "Have you never read what David did when he and his companions were hungry and in need? In the days of Abiathar, the high priest, he entered," speaking about David again, "he entered the house of God and ate the consecrated bread, which is lawful only for priests to eat. And he also gave some to his companions." Well, then Jesus said to them, and this is quote as well, "The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. So the Son of Man is Lord even over the Sabbath." And you can read that for yourself in Mark chapter 2, verses 24 through 28. So, really, God gave the law to encourage the Israelites to love Him and to love others. He really had never prohibited doing good on the Sabbath. He never said you couldn't do good on the Sabbath. The Pharisees acted as if God had created people so that He would have someone to keep the Sabbath. But Jesus clarified that God had given the Sabbath as a gift to the people He created, us. So in Luke chapter 14, verse 5 of the New Testament, Jesus also said, "Which of you shall have an ass," meaning a donkey, "or an ox, fallen into a pit, and will not straightway pull him out on the Sabbath day?" So what's He saying there? He's saying if your neighbor or you or whoever, if you have an animal fall into a ditch or into a pit, are you just going to leave it there because it's a Sabbath day? You're going to leave it there to die? Of course you're not going to do that. It doesn't make sense to do that. You're going to do whatever you can to get that animal out, and that's going to take physical exertion. My take on this is really that the Sabbath is supposed to be a day when we can recharge our batteries, more or less. To just, take a break from the stresses that we face in our everyday work lives. By His law, by God's law, we are to take that break on the same day He did after He created everything. So we're to take it. He rested on the seventh day. We're to rest on the seventh day as well. I really think that this is to help us set and strengthen our bond with Him and help make it more firm and secure. Does He demand that we spend the entire day in church or in prayer? It doesn't say that in the commandment, so I'm going to say no. Going to church, I think, is simply a preference. The original Christian churches were in people's houses. They weren't led by preachers and priests and whatnot, elders and whoever. They were really more of a place of refuge for Christians and a place where they could go to feel safe in their worship of God and Jesus Christ. The churches today are not the same thing. It's a whole different feeling altogether than what it was then. So then are we supposed to spend the entire day in worship? Doesn't say that in the Fourth Commandment. That's not what it says. Again, worship is something we should be doing daily anyway, in prayer, keeping God and Jesus in our thoughts and in our hearts. The commandment doesn't specify that we're supposed to spend the whole day in worship or prayer. It says rest. So the bottom line here, really, from what I can see, is that the Sabbath is meant really to simply be a day of rest from the work that we do for our jobs, the rest of the week. So it's supposed to be a tool to help us not burn out on the work that we do the rest of the week. It's there was even back at that time, back in those days, the old days, if you want to call it that. There was even a law that Jews had centered around this, that women were not to cook on the Sabbath as well. Now, to me, this makes sense, being that, this is what, at that time, back in those days, this was a woman's job at the time. She was there, she cooked, she cleaned, she took care of the household and that kind of thing. So this was her day of rest as well, her day to take a day off, and not have to do that. To get burned out on it. So it gave them a day off from doing this, a day off from cooking and cleaning and whatnot. When Jesus made the statement about helping to pull someone's donkey or ox out of the pit on the Sabbath, He didn't consider this to be work, because it's helping others and is not a part of what your normal work day would look like. So not having to worry about work and the everyday stresses that we go through, on a regular basis, it makes it easier for us to take this day off, take the Sabbath, and spend more time with God, trying to get closer to Him. It makes it easier for us to find the time to spend with others, getting to know them, make new friendships, as well as making stronger bonds with the friends that we already have. It gives us that day to spend with family if we want to. and strengthen our bonds with our family. It gives us a day where we can do whatever we want to do, basically, that's not work, as well as, if we choose to, simply find time to rest. Kick back, veg if you want to. Let's take the day for that. Helping others is something else that we can do with that time. You know, it doesn't have to be someone we know. It doesn't have to be family. It could be anybody. It could be a neighbor, you know. Just helping people out. That's really not considered to be work either. It's helping. Anyway, that concludes today's topic, I think. I just really wanted to get a little deeper into the Sabbath and what it was really about. It's a very, very special day that we should all be observing. Anyway, that takes care of today's topic. I would like to mention in closing that, as I always say, I've included a link to a PayPal page where, if the Spirit moves you to, you can donate whatever amount you like. Every little bit helps. If not, that's okay too. Please do like, share, follow, and subscribe on YouTube so that the subscription is so you'll be notified whenever I post new videos. But sharing is the most important of these things. More important than donating to PayPal, more important than liking, more important than following, although the following part kind of helps you share. But sharing is the most important, so that, you know, when you share these messages, others hopefully will get value from them as well. That's the important thing. The message here is supposed to be free. It's a free message as designed by God. God wants His word out there, and He gives it to us for free. He gives it, and we're supposed to pass it along for free, and that's what I'm trying to do here. Any donations made are voluntary only. I'll never, try to force you into doing anything you don't want to do. But sharing is very, very important. My goal here is to simply help those who might not otherwise find Him to find their way to God, and to have a better understanding, hopefully, of what He wants for them. But it's as usual. Everyone has their own journey to make. Everyone has their own time that they need to spend with Him to get to know Him. So I'm hoping that there's some way along the line that I'll be able to help anyone, to find their way closer to Him. So anyway, the next episode, I think I'm done with the Fourth Commandment for now. So the next episode, I'm going to go into the Fifth Commandment and beyond. So until then, be safe, be kind to others, love your family and your friends. Those who are close to you, love God and His only Son, Jesus Christ. Talk to God through Jesus in prayer, regularly, daily, multiple times a day even. And while you're praying for yourself and your loved ones, please remember to say something good and helpful, I guess, for those who are less fortunate. Pray for those who maybe have loved ones in the hospital going through surgeries or whatever. And hopefully your prayers will be answered. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have an absolutely splendid day. And I'll see you again next time. Take care.